My disabled boyfriend and I are addicted to hooking up in public on campus. I know we'll get caught one day, but I can't help myself. I never thought that a guy in a wheelchair would be able to give me the best org SMS I've ever had in my life, but that's exactly what I'm experiencing. I'm a college student who spends most of my time in the library, and this month I started prepping for the semester as my syllabuses were coming in. There aren't a lot of people on campus and even fewer in the library, so it was easy for me to notice this really cute guy who would be in the library almost every day with me. At first I would only ever see him sitting at his desk, and it was hard for me not to stare at him. Eventually, I convinced myself to get up and go talk to him, and from the first day I sat down across from him we had great chemistry. He had a great sense of humor and was constantly making me laugh, which was hard because we were in the middle of the library. I literally hung out with him 2 different times in the library until I realized that he was in a wheelchair. Like I said, we only ever talked while sitting down, and I didn't realize until he literally rolled away from me that he was disabled. But it didn't bother me at all. I care more about the emotional connection than something physical anyway, and that's what I was looking for. Anyway, we started studying together and things got flirtier and flirtier between us. We would share a private study room and study late into the night. It turned out he also volunteered at the library, so he had keys of his own. The next thing I knew, we were studying and talking till 2 or 3 a.m. some nights just because we could. My crush started intensifying, and one night while we were in the library alone I decided to admit my feelings to him. I had never been so nervous and excited. We sat next to each other in our favorite soundproof private study room, and I was blushing as I told him how I had been falling for him since we met. He ended up admitting that he felt the same and told me that he could barely focus on his study material because of how badly he wanted to kiss me. Well, that's how I ended up straddling him in his chair with him kissing all over my neck and eventually taking my top off. One thing led to another, and we literally ended up hooking up right there in the study room. I'm not sure what it was. Maybe it was the scandal hooking up in the library or the certain position I was in while sitting on him in his chair, but he ended up giving me the most mind-bending climax I've ever experienced in my life. We started dating a few weeks after that, and we hang out at each other's dorms all the time now. Although anytime we study in the private rooms, it always ends with me in his lap and his hand over my mouth.